got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and, you know, just luck, bad luck, and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a big thing.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's
I don't know.
Completely unfair. It is completely just. I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get.
And then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Joe Rogan has come out strongly against Jake Paul's decision to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, blasting the matchup for being unsafe due to the massive size difference. Rogan emphasized that weight classes exist for a reason, to keep fighters safe and ensure fair competition. He argued that Jake seems more concerned with hyping up the spectacle than respecting the integrity of boxing. According to Rogan, the size and power gap between Jake and Tank makes the fight extremely dangerous, as Jake's much bigger frame could cause serious harm. He warned that this kind of mismatch undermines the entire point of regulated boxing.
Sure, but no time limit within the weight class.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
because
crazy.
you know, like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
Michael Bisping echoed Rogan's criticism, raising major concerns about Jake Paul's choice to face an opponent nearly 100 pounds lighter than him. He said such a drastic weight gap breaks the natural balance of the sport and turns it into a publicity stunt rather than a genuine contest. Bisping reminded fans that Jake's previously rumored fight with Mike Tyson was already controversial, given Tyson's age and retirement. Now, going after Gervonta Davis, who is much smaller, only adds to the outrage. According to Bisping, boxing is built on fairness and equal competition, but this fight appears heavily tilted in Jake's favor, making it less about proving skill and more about boosting Jake's personal image while risking Tank's safety.
That's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him, and him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word, whoa, stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta Tank Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous career. He's got 28 knockouts on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5", okay? They're smaller guys, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers, yeah.
Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas also weighed in after seeing the face-off between Jake Paul and Tank Davis. He highlighted the shocking size difference, joking that Tank would practically need a ladder to reach Jake's chin. Atlas acknowledged that differences in technique and style are normal in boxing, but insisted that the gap in size and reach here is simply too extreme. He said Tank is far too undersized to fight effectively, making the matchup look mismatched before it even begins.
Right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract, but I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, all kidding aside, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him, because I know he's an expert in this area, but it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan further pointed out that Jake Paul's recent fights seem designed more for entertainment than genuine sporting merit. He explained that these kinds of bouts are structured to attract casual audiences, generate betting hype, and keep Jake's name trending in the headlines. Rogan believes Jake fully understands how to manipulate public attention and uses boxing as a marketing tool rather than a pure competition platform.
The problem, that makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love everybody.
That had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. It's just doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
if I bet on it,
watching
it
it
bothers
is
the fuck out
hard.
of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced chat apps in them in Australia, so it's they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in.
Thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in anyway.
Meanwhile, Leonard Ellerbe revealed that Gervonta Tank Davis wasn't in the right mental state to face Lamont Roach earlier this year. He said Tank had been dealing with personal issues and didn't want to add the stress of another major fight to his plate. According to Ellerbe, Tank was prioritizing his mental well-being over public expectations, and skipping the Roach fight was a decision made to avoid unnecessary pressure. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for the latest boxing news.